and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes, WWE edition. As always, I'm the Heartbreak Dude, Denton, the dude of Wrestle Talk, the man who loves purple and isn't afraid to wear it. And with me, as always, is, I'm assuming you are Sami Zayn now because he hasn't been on WWE TV anymore. Yeah. You must really be him. Mr. Ryan himself. Ryan enjoys wrestling. What's going on in this uneventful week of wrestling?
Yeah, it's been a pretty dull week in WWE. Yeah. I wish more weeks were like this because it's pretty quiet. We can just focus on the Rumble. And I'm not saying that I'm going to debut or I'm going to win the Royal Rumble tomorrow, but I'm not saying I'm not going to win it. So I think Sami Zayn's coming back. I think tomorrow's the perfect opportunity.
Can you save your surprise entries until we do our surprise entries? By the way, I have to say, we have the hottest theme music of any podcast in the world.
Course,
that's a fact. We have one of the best video beginnings, but I just watched that video with all the news today and other things that might happen. We might have to have that video.
Take a certain person out.
We got Brock Lesnar, but not only that, but the AEW part has MJF, and rumor has it. So I mean, it's like, oh man, we're gonna have to like ask Homeboy to like, can you just like take maybe Brock out and put I don't know Wardlow in the AEW thing? We'll figure it out. But anyway, it's still a hot thing and popping, as he says.
I've got other videos that we can use. So. We'll see. I don't know if Brock's in
that video is good.
Yeah,
we'll see. But we got to get this show going. Too much stuff happened. Let's start with the WWE news. And holy cow, since our last podcast Thursday, we've had a ton of stuff happen. What's going on in the world of WWE?
Man. It has been a crazy week. But we'll start with the good, and then we'll kind of end with some of the bad news. But we finally know where Monday Night Raw will be landing in 2025, and that is Netflix.
Netflix. All right.
Yeah. So Monday Night Raw, starting January 2025, will be airing weekly on Netflix, and this was a huge deal. I think what they say the total was. It was $5 billion.
10 years, $5 billion. Which is $500 million a year they're getting for the show. USA was giving them like $236 million or something. So that's double the.
And this contract can be Netflix has an opt-out clause after 5 years. So if they don't like what they see or they're not getting a return on their investment, they can opt out after 5 years, or they could extend it for another 10 years immediately when the 10 years is up. So if they like what they're doing. So this deal could either be 5 years, 10 years, or for the next 20 years of WWE Monday Night Raw streaming on Netflix, and then there's a lot of positives with this, a lot of questions.
Let's talk about it.
So
because I like this, I want to discuss this. This is something I'd rather discuss than the other thing going on in the world. But
I like it because it probably means that more likely than not, Raw is going to be commercial free, which, I don't think I've ever watched a wrestling event on TV that's been commercial free, unless Tony Khan has announced that the first 30 minutes of Dynamite is commercial free, or the Tuesday Night Wars, and Shawn Michaels is saying, okay, we'll make NXT commercial free. But other than that, I don't remember where an entire episode has been commercial free. Will Monday Night Raw still remain 3 hours long? And then will it remain on Mondays? That's the other question. And Nick Khan on Monday was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was asked if it would remain on Mondays. And he said that right now the plan is for it to be yes, staying on Mondays, especially now that they no longer have to compete with Monday Night Football anymore on network TV, and really ratings are no longer a thing. But they're going to, it's going to be up to Netflix, and Netflix is going to decide ultimately if they want to keep it on Mondays or move it to another night if they think it makes sense. So I'm I'm excited about this deal. I think it's going to be a good thing for the future. It's always better to get on board early than be the last one there. And feels like ESPN is, people still keep their cable really for sports these days. At least I do. And, I keep saying, when are we going to be able to stream some of these games? When are we going to be able to watch these games weekly without having to have these cable packages and stuff? And seems like Raw is getting ahead of the trend, and they got ahead of it with the WWE Network a few years ago, and now they're getting ahead of it again with streaming their weekly show on Netflix. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I honestly only have cable for NFL and AEW. Even my local baseball, basketball, hockey, I get it all on Bally Sports app. I don't even watch it on my cable network. I have a Bally Sports app. I stream everything. The only reason why I have YouTube TV, which is a cable network that's streaming, and the only reason why I have it is for literally I can't stream AEW. AEW doesn't stream on anything, so to watch it. I have to be at that, and then football, because football, to watch main games, you can't stream it. You have to watch it on Fox or whatever when I want to watch my local Rams. But yeah, I'm seeing people that we live in such a weird world, right? Because we live in a world of complaining, and with that, when we get into the Vince stuff, and everything else that goes on in the world, just people are just so quick to complain about everything or accuse or start pulling. Everybody wants to just be angry. We live in a world of technology with most people who are creators or have opinions on, or they're all in the 20-year-old range, right? Where are the outliers, right? Being the older people, but yet when the NFL did a game on Peacock, the world exploded.
Oh yeah,
why
people
would
were
you?
mad.
What am I gonna? How dare you? I'm like, wait. We live in a world where you literally are on your phones at all times, and you're upset that NFL is gonna have one game not on cable. You still have cable. You're 20 years old and you stream everything, and you live on Reddit, but you complain that it's on. So now all these fake people who are like Netflix. I'm like, bro, if you don't know, you have Netflix. That $9.99 has been getting taken out of your account for the last 18 years. Don't act like you're not watching.
Everybody has it.
You don't watch Cobra Kai and Stranger Things, and you weren't watching Orange is the New Black, and get out of my face with that. All you youngins are watching all those damn shows. So shut up. You have Netflix. Stop complaining to complain. This is a brilliant thing. And here's the thing too, because people are saying ratings and stuff. I think people forget that Netflix and all, they know how many times the shows are streamed and watched. There's still ratings. There's still money to be made. When a show on Netflix gets canceled, it's because people aren't watching it. Also, Netflix is also going to understand that as soon as they sign with WWE and they start going, when they get more subscribers and more people tune in, that's going to help as well. Netflix is going to make a boat. They're not willing to give up $5 billion in 10 years because they don't think they're going to get that money recouped. So this is a brilliant idea. This is how all wrestling should be, all TV, all sports, everything should be freaking streamed now on streaming services. I'm over it. I don't care if it's streamed all over the place. I have them all, and sure, I get it. We're not all rich. We can't all afford things. I could probably live a little bit better if I didn't stream every single service in the world. But in the long run, back in the days before streaming, my DirecTV bill was $250 a month.
Crazy expensive.
I'm still paying less than what I was paying there for all these streaming services I have. So it's still a win in the long. I think people just, once again, complain. One more thing about this deal is that I really like it too, because I like that WWE is very intelligent. AEW right now trying to get on TNT and TBS, and they want to stay on the same things. And WCW did that back in the days, just like a one network. WWE has always done this, and they're so smart that they spread their products around. We're going to have Smackdown on USA. We're going to have NXT on CW. We're going to have Raw on Netflix. That's 3 different shows making 3 different amounts of money through 3 different people. If one goes under, they can bring. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket, right? It's like working in the same job as your wife, right? And then the job goes under. What do you both do, right? Now you're both have no income, right? You got to work at different things, do different professions. To spread their shows around is such a brilliant way to make a boatload of money. And lastly, I think I'm going to throw it out there. By the way, I heard Tommy Dreamer make a statement that he's like, it was a real statement too. Tommy Dreamer, what's that guy? They need to get him off.
Yeah.
He's literally the worst. No offense. He seems like a genuinely nice guy in real life, but talking and his opinions for being how intelligent he should be in this field, he says some dumb things. But he said that he was what is Netflix going to do? Maybe they're going to do 52 episodes all at once and they have one season and we just watch them all. I'm like, what the? And he said it for reals. That was things that people made like as jokes. I sent you one of them that somebody was like, oh, I can't wait to stream like all 52 episodes in one sitting. I was like, that's funny. Dreamer literally said that on his podcast for realsies. Like, bro, but here's what I'm excited about with Netflix. One, I don't think these Raws are going to be 1 hour, 2 hour, 3. I think they're all going to be like an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Like you have the freedom now. There's no overlay, no nothing.
If you take the commercials off of Monday Night Raw, it's usually about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Yeah. So. They already announced Raw is going to be advertisement free, so no advertisements, no commercials. But don't forget, we do have wrestling on a streaming service. We have Peacock. And if you're going to tell me right now there's no advertisements in between, we're going to get all the in-between matches like a Fritos commercial and Doritos and this and that. And but it'll have Kofi Kingston in it. He'll be eating a Pizza Hut pizza. And so it'll be wrestling related and then they'll start. So we'll get that. But the last thing is that, bro, I'm calling it right now. Minus the way they treated women, because we're in different times now and women need to be treated once again as a 100%. Freaking human being and treated like freaking men. We're all freaking one and equals here, people. But the Attitude Era is back. I'm telling you that right now. Monday Night Raw, the Attitude Era is back. That's why they're going to go on Netflix. They just got to throw that little warning beforehand that you're going to see graphic language and
you think
content.
They're getting rid of the TV PG? They're getting rid of the PG rating?
On Raw, at least. On Raw, 100%. I think that's why. You have free range to start having some more fun. And like I'm saying, Attitude Era, for people that don't know what I'm saying, in the Attitude Era, women were treated in bra and panties matches, and we'll get into it. Vince McMahon's, toys and all that is going to be out the window. Women will be treated like they should be treated. But it's going to be the Attitude Era. I think we're going to get a lot more
I hope so.
Bad words, meaning, Stone Cold, DX, stuff, a little bit more of like the risque, not AEW where they're going to bleed every week, and not far-fetched that we're going to have Val Venus, but it's going to be more PG-13 is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Because they can do it. They don't have to worry about sponsors and things. I mean, they can do whatever the hell they want on Netflix. They can cuss. They can say fuck. You know what I mean? They can do whatever they want. So
I hope so.
I like it. Sorry, I talked a lot, but
I like it too. And the thing I like the most about it is I think eventually WWE Network's going to move away from Peacock because internationally, everything, Raw, Smackdown, NXT, everything from the WWE Network, because they still have the WWE Network in the UK. They don't have the Peacock deal. That's only for North America.
The network's done. They announced that.
Yeah,
2025 is going to be all on Netflix.
Everything's going to be on Netflix, and I think there's a reason for that, and that's what makes me think, okay, maybe because Peacock's international, so why not put it on Peacock? That's what makes me think maybe once this Peacock deal's up, everything from Peacock is going to go over to Netflix as well. So, and I think then, because then we'll get some of the uncensored stuff on the WWE Network and some of the uncut footage of the Rock concert where he can swear a little bit more and he can be himself, because that's the thing about Peacock is they cut a lot of stuff from the Attitude Era because of graphics and violence and stuff. And I think with Netflix coming in, we don't have to worry about that anymore. So I do think eventually the only concern is apparently the people from USA came out and said that Raw is off of our channel on October of 2024.
I heard that.
So where are they going to air Monday Night Raw from October to January when the deal for Netflix comes on? The only thing I could think of is Peacock, but who knows? And WWE is apparently going to announce what they're going to be doing for that 3-month stretch here really, really soon. So just got to stay tuned and see, but I'm curious to see where they air from October to January.
It's where the USA said that because they still have a deal with them with SmackDown. So why be so grumpy? Why not just say we're gonna work a 2-month deal with them? Does AEW go to USA?
No.
Do they take that Monday spot? Do they try to spice things? I know they're dying right now, but do they?
I think they have to move Collision off Saturday. They have to.
Well, yes.
And they have to move it to another day, and now that frees up Monday. And I think I wouldn't put it past them to move it to Monday, because the people that still have cable that are upset about this, they're tuned. Their body is tuned to turn to USA Network on Monday night at 8:00. So could I see them moving there? Sure. But what I think they're going to do, I think everything I've heard, and this is all just hearsay, is they're going to do a hybrid where they're going to stream on Max, Dynamite, Collision, pay-per-views, hopefully. And then they're going to also air on TBS and TNT at the same time. So that's what I think they should do, but we'll see. We'll see.
They need to get their pay-per-views to be PLEs. They need to get on Max the end. I mean, people
Yeah,
can
100%
about that too, but they need to get on streaming. Streaming's the future. Every wrestling organization now is streaming. Except them.
Yeah.
So they need to stream. Also, people who are complaining and saying like this is like a downfall, like all those AEW monkeys who are like, oh, they ran away from the Ray. Yeah, kicked them off cable. You know how many more eyeballs are going to get? You know, like USA is not like a worldwide, like everyone, like Netflix literally is everywhere. Every country, basically, everyone now can watch Monday Night Raw. It's a big deal. All right, let's get into The Rock. The Rock and Vince. We got things that we got to get moving.
So the same morning that they announced the Netflix deal, which this past Monday Night Raw, we had Monday Night Raw, which was a banger of a show, and then they announced the Netflix deal at like 4:00 in the morning on Tuesday morning. And then they also announced that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to be the 6th board member of TKO, which means now it's going to be Endeavor with 6 people, and the WWE now has 6 people. And
for now,
for now, until and then maybe that's why they did it. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is officially a board member for TKO. So I guess you could make the argument that he is at the head of the table in the WWE. Maybe this is what he meant when he cut that promo, that I'm going to sit at the head of the table, and everyone took it and ran with being a Roman Reigns shot. But really, he's like, no, I'm seriously going to sit at the head of the table of this company. But I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's going to be a good thing in the long run, but because the Rock seems to be in tune with what the people want. He seems to be in tune. He's pretty modern. He's not like those, even though he's a young, 45, 50-year-old, where he still understands what's going on in the world around him. Not like these boomers that are, why are you streaming a game on Peacock? I want it on NBC. So I think the Rock could do wonders for TKO. I think he could be a voice of reason. I think he still loves wrestling, and I think he can bring some eyeballs, and I think again it's only going to help the WWE in the long run with both NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. So I'm excited to see what he does, but I am curious if this means that even more that we're getting Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, or if they're like, no, because you're a board member now, you can't do it.
No, Rock's 100%. He knew this. He was going to be a board member before he came out and did all that stuff. The Rock and Roman are going to headline WrestleMania. Get over it,
I hope
people.
so.
And WrestleMania 40. He came out on Stephen A. Smith and basically said it. He said it on other outlets as well, where he's basically said, I want to wrestle Roman at Mania. I mean, I think when you are like a WWE fan and you're, just a Cody fan, and there's a lot of people that I like that are creators that like Cody are just like so adamant against it and this, and I don't think they understand that The Rock is literally the biggest star in the world. Movie star, name recognition, who he's legit the biggest star in the world. Him signing to TKO is a brilliant idea. He's gonna fight The Rock because he's the biggest star. You don't put the biggest star in the Elimination Chamber. You don't put the biggest star at Survivor Series, but the biggest star at WrestleMania. And Cody's story was never ever guaranteed or told that it was going to happen at Mania. Get over it. Also, I like all the people last year who complained when he lost to Roman are the same people who are complaining now. So if he survived this whole year, why is he not going to survive another 8 months? Like, people are so... Anyway, nonetheless, another reason why I think the Attitude Era is coming back, you got The Rock and Triple H, who are... Is Triple H a board member? He's up there, right? The Rock and Triple H, correct?
I don't think he is. Triple H is
he's
not
there.
Yeah.
But either way, you got The Rock is the
Nick
board
Khan
member. Triple H.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick Khan. But you got The Rock as a board member, Triple H running Raw and SmackDown, and HBK running NXT. Yeah, bro. I'm telling you. Attitude Era is coming back. Those are all Attitude Era boys.
And the other big thing out of this, too, is in addition to his appointment on the board, he also has full ownership of the Rock name. So if he decides to go back to Hollywood full time, which he seems like almost too busy for Hollywood these days, because he's running the XFL, USFL merger as well. He's on that. He's now on the board of TKO. But if he
likes
ever
money.
if he ever decides to step away, he can keep the Rock name, which was always a point of contention when he was in Hollywood the first time around, and he kind of distanced himself from the WWE. They wouldn't let him keep the Rock name, and I think this is just going to show that WWE is changing with the times and giving people a little bit more freedom. So,
well, that's because Vince is no more. So let's
yeah.
talk about that now, because that's the reason why things
Oh,
are changing, because Vince
yeah.
is not here anymore. So,
Okay, I guess we'll talk about the elephant in the room. So Vince McMahon he's the former, I guess, current chairman, I guess, of WWE.
he's still the board, yeah.
And he has been accused of trafficking a former WWE employee and sexual assault yet again, and physical abuse in this lawsuit that was filed on Thursday. And these allegations are pretty disturbing. We're not going to read the whole. There's a 67-page court document that you can go find on Variety.com and Wall Street Journal. It's out there. You can find it. But some of that stuff in there is pretty damning. It's pretty alarming. And if this is true, and again, if it's true and it's proven in a court of law that it's true, then Vince McMahon, first of all, he needs to go away regardless. He needs, like, even if it's not true, he needs to go away regardless. But if this is true, then I think WWE needs to just scrub Vince McMahon from his company. As tough as that is to say, I think it's the best thing to do. And it's unfortunate. Again, a lot of these claims in there are pretty damning, pretty alarming. I mean, there's stuff in there about, just forcing himself on this poor woman, and some of the text messages that are shown. It's gross. And yeah, Vince is he's got to go. He's got to go, hands down.
Well, yeah, and forcing her onto other people and so on, and all sorts of things.
Yeah, there's certain allegations that he was never named in the lawsuit, but we were talking about Brock Lesnar earlier and how we may have to take him out of our video. Apparently he forced this woman to send nude pictures of herself to Brock Lesnar as a way to help him potentially resign. And then in one of the text messages, it says having sex with him is part of the deal, and we need him to resign. It just says it's a former UFC champion who the WWE was trying to re-sign at that time. So we know it's not CM Punk because he never won the fight in UFC. Yeah. We know, Matt Riddle, it could potentially be Matt Riddle, but I don't think he ever won a title in UFC.
He didn't. The only other person who was a UFC champion is Ronda Rousey. So unless it's her.
And then there's Cain Velasquez was in WWE for like 15 minutes, and this was around that time.
He was a champion,
but
it could be Cain. That's why I'm saying let's not ruin Brock's name at the moment, and also people can be misinterpreted. Maybe she thought that's who it was. I don't know. I don't know what the allegation is.
Yeah. So Brock's never named in the lawsuit. People are just assuming that it's Brock, that he's one of the people, and that, he wanted certain pictures of her doing certain things, and then that he was going to fly to meet with her, but then a snowstorm kind of derailed that. So anyway, we don't need to get too much into it, but either way, Vince McMahon, he needs to be gone. And his lawyer, he's lawyered up, and he's got the best lawyers because he's a cajillionaire, but his lawyer came out and said that this lawsuit is 100% false, and Vince is going to defend himself. So we'll see what happens, but it's just it's a crazy state of affairs right now. WWE went from the highest of highs to a really low of low, probably the lowest of lows on Thursday.
So. Well, lawyers are very good. You wait for things, you hear things are going to happen. As soon as they get a $5 billion deal, now is a good time because they have money to give.
Yeah.
TKO also came out and said, "Yo, this was before our time, and we're investigating, and we're going to look into it." I'm actually surprised. I don't know if it's happened yet, but that he hasn't been suspended. At least I get people are like, "Fire him, do this." I think people forget that humans have rights, no matter how disgusting they are. So you can't just fire people for funsies. You know what I mean? For allegations, you can suspend and keep him out, and
I saw something
how you find out.
And again, this is the problem with X, but I saw something on X. I don't know if it was from a dirt sheet or from like one of these reporters from the Wall Street Journal, but they said something that in Vince's contract, they can't unilaterally throw him off or suspend him. He would have to formally resign in order for anything.
And that can be real. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can be real.
But again, I saw that on X. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. I can't remember who the source was, but yeah, like apparently it's written in his contract that they cannot unilaterally throw him off of the board or suspend him. So maybe they can't unless he actually formally resigns, and then they can. But again, I don't know, and maybe, like I said earlier, maybe this is the reason that The Rock became the new board member, and that maybe they knew this article was coming out, and they knew that this lawsuit was coming out, and because I don't think this came out of the blue. I think it hit us out of the blue, but I don't think it surprised any of them. So maybe this is why The Rock's on the board, and maybe this is their way of writing Vince off, and it's just going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing with X2 is that we got to remember, it doesn't matter if you have 100,000 followers, 10,000 followers, 1,000,
Yeah.
followers. None of these people know anything about business, contracts,
No.
signings. I know there were certain creators on here telling that unless you have a 6-figure business contract, then you can't talk to me about business. Although that person knows nothing about business.
No, of course.
People are stupid. X is literally the dumbest site I've ever been on. But a lot of those people are on TikTok. They just don't post all their dumb things on TikTok that they do on Twitter. But holy cow, it's filled with morons. But nonetheless, none of them know. And that's why I'm not going to speak on it, because like I said, you don't know what's in Vince's contracts. You don't know what's in this. So stop judging everybody. Also, lay off of people. Lay off of Triple H and even Brock Lesnar. You don't have to write the F word and put all these people on there when you have no idea what they've done or what they haven't done. If you want to hate Vince because of the allegations, and there are text messages and you can read them, which is proof that things were done and what was said by him. If you want to hate him for that, go ahead. But to sit here and like tear apart people that's names
Triple
haven't
H
even been brought up.
Triple H and Stephanie knew
garbage, and this and that. Did they know that their father-in-law is a disgusting human being? Probably, right? But you don't know. NDAs were signed. I don't think people understand what NDAs are. I think everybody thinks they're just like, oh, if you've had something sexually happen. No, NDAs are for all sorts of things.
Yeah,
all sorts of things. We've talked about this before. Yeah,
I work in corporate America, and if I leave to go to a competitor I work in the clinical trial space, and if I leave to go to another company in the clinical trial space, I have a non-disclosure agreement, basically saying that I cannot poach people from my current employer. I can there's all kinds of rules that I can't leak company secrets to my new employer because they're a competitor. I can't say, hey, we might win this business over here, so maybe we go after them. Like I can't do any. That's all in my non-disclosure agreement if I were to leave my current employer. So yeah. There's more to it than being sexually harassed or assaulted.
Yes,
and you idiots. Yeah,
but you also think that all these people who are saying that are the same people who think Vince McMahon is 100% guilty, the most disgusting human being, and capable of forcing a female to sign an NDA. But they don't think Vince McMahon's capable of having all his employees sign NDAs saying whatever you see me do or say or this cannot be said outside of these offices. They can all have NDAs. Maybe that's why Triple H and Stephanie voted no on him to stay on the board, but they can't say anything because they have NDAs, which are legal documents forbidding them from saying anything. Like, people are so stupid. You have no idea what's going on in the world. So don't put in your input because you don't know it. Or you can put in your input, but stop saying things as facts. Stop saying F words towards people. Like, you have no idea who's to blame. If you want to hate on Vince, hate on Vince. Here's the other thing, too. Let's end this. He's going to have, this is not the end. This is the damn beginning.
No. Yeah.
This is a woman who, 2019 to 2022, she was lucky enough to be in a time where there's text messaging, recordings, videos. She can have all sorts of proof on him. What about all the girls from the 70s, 80s, and 90s who didn't have this stuff going on? There's going to be a lot. You think Vince only did it with this girl? There's going to be a lot of things coming out. So just be ready. And that's why, like, we both agree TKO just needs to get rid of him if they can, because it's just bad business in general. Let him do. But also, we live in a billionaire world. Don't also be surprised if he gets away with it and just gets fired and has no jail time, because that's the sad world we live in, that when you have a lot of money, you can get away with things. So it's disgusting. It's just 100%. But hopefully, I'm wishing this woman the best. I mean, I think it's insane that Vince McMahon was going to sign Brock Lesnar by allowing him to have sex with a girl. That's like bananas to me. I don't, like, not only is he married, I mean, people cheat, but whatever, but like, Brock Lesnar, like, that's Sable? What he, like, but what's, but even then, but like, that's what you wanted to do. Like, that was your, like, I'll give you $10 million a year. No, thanks. You can have sex with a girl. Okay, I'll sign. It's just like, huh? Like, what the hell is going on in WWE? Like, you're using women as, it's just like, if all this shit's true, it's like mind blowing.
Yeah.
And if he did that with a supposed former UFC champ, did he do that with other wrestlers? So that's the other thing too. Like a lot of things are going to come out. I was telling you before we got on here, don't look at a Trish Stratus and a Stacy Keibler and a Tori Wilson and these people who were forced to do some disgusting things with him during the Attitude Era. If they're not going to come out amongst others, I mean, there's a ton than those three.
All the people that were shockingly released at one point too. Maybe they didn't agree to do something, and
100%.
Like there was, I remember Dawn Marie. She was one of my favorite WWE divas, and she was there one day feuding with can't remember who, Jackie somebody, but she then like 3 weeks later she was gone, and it makes me wonder like did something? Well, wonder what happened. So I mean, we're not saying anything did happen with those.
And I'm not saying nothing did. No,
but I do think this is just the beginning of a huge shitstorm that WWE is going to be in.
Yes, they need to. TKO needs to buckle up, but TKO also has Dana White, and I know Dana White hasn't had these accusations, but Dana White has had accusation, and he was on video slapping the crap out of his wife multiple times, and nothing came of it. And once again,
and
he's still on the board.
If all this stuff happened with allegedly with Brock, is Brock like, sorry, Dana, Vince is letting me, boink this chick.
Yeah.
So like, how much did Dana White know? Like,
how much? 100%.
So So can you get me a girl, Dana? Like, who knows? So this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think a lot more is coming.
All I know is that what I've read is disgusting, disturbing. Yes. I feel extremely sorry for this woman, her family, anything she had to deal with, and the people around them. That's all I can say. If any of this is true, that's disgusting.
And if you do decide to read it, just remember there's a massive trigger. Yeah, there's a trigger warning. So, just buckle up, because it's going to be it's a hard read. It's a hard read.
Yeah, that is true. And supposedly Vince McMahon texts like a 12-year-old child. Those texts were weird too. Not just the disgusting stuff, but he was writing things like, I was like, what in the, like, Vince wrote this? Like, it was bizarre. But all right, we got 30 minutes now. Let's finish this. We got to go through 3 shows and predictions. Are you ready? Let's get into some good.
Let's do let's do some good. We did the ugly, we did the bad. Let's do the good.
All right, Smackdown. You ready? Well, is it good? I don't know. I guess we'll see. All right, 60 seconds or less recap Smackdown, and let's go. The show opens with Nick Aldis and the 4-way contract signing. Everyone is there and signs but Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman says Roman will not sign, so Aldis says he will vacate the title. Boom, boom, boom. Knight, Styles, and Randy argue, and we get Solo versus Randy and Styles versus Knight tonight. Legado del Fantasma defeat the LWO. We get the return of Pete Dunne. So Butch is dead. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate defeat Pretty Deadly. The KO show with special guest Logan Paul. KO says Logan isn't Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and other wrestlers, and Logan Paul says he is happy he is not. And then he punches KO in the face, who takes it and smiles. They brawl, and Logan Paul stands tall at the end. Solo tells Roman he will fix everything tonight. I'll let you know if he does in a couple seconds. Carter and Chance beat the Unholy Union. The Kabuki Warriors are up next for the tag titles. AJ Styles and LA Knight end in a DQ when Solo Sikoa beats them up. And then Randy Orton continues to squash Solo Sikoa right afterwards. Roman comes to the ring and signs his contract and gets RKO'd to end the show. And that's a 60-second or less review of SmackDown. I'm glad Solo got that revenge, man.
Yeah, he said he was going to fix it.
He handled it. He fixed it.
What are we doing with Solo right now? Like,
let's talk about it.
Are we still? Do you still? Oh, I can't talk. Do you still think we're doing the Usos versus the Usos at WrestleMania? Like, are we doing Jimmy versus Jay versus Solo? Because if they are, they're doing a horrible job of building any of them. Not just Solo, but Solo has done absolutely nothing ever since he beat John Cena at Crown Jewel. He's done absolutely nothing. He's starting to get pinned a lot. He's starting to lose big matches on SmackDown. Apparently tonight he's wrestling LA Knight on
that's another L.
Or I'm sorry, on SmackDown. So that's gonna be another L. And then Jimmy Uso is basically the enhancement talent these days for the Bloodline. And then Jay Uso, he's helping the New Day, but he's not.
He's trying to be Big E. I don't know what he's doing.
But he's not. But he never comes out and helps them in their matches. He's just showing up backstage, being like, yeah. So I don't know. Like,
that was awkward. Did you see the backstage one where he came with them on Raw and then he got like pushed aside during an interview and he was just standing there like,
Yeah, it was awkward. And then they're like, we're the
Yeah.
best
Yeet.
tag team ever. And he's over here like, yeet. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeet.
like, how did you? I don't know. But what are we doing with the Usos and what are we doing with Solo? I don't understand, because Solo could be this monster. He could
Mhm,
be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns if they built him properly, and he should
mhm,
be the muscle of the bloodline. But instead,
mhm.
they're just booking him to look like a complete and utter moron. And I don't know if it's the John Cena effect, where same thing happened to Austin Theory. Once John Cena puts you over, you kind of take a nosedive in your career, or if there's more to it. But and I know we have a long way to go between now and WrestleMania, but they got to do something to boost these guys up, because that was, yeah, I don't like when they're like, oh, I'm going to fix it tonight. And then he goes out there and embarrasses himself.
He got squashed. He got his ass kicked. He
Yeah.
didn't even try. I don't understand. No, the bloodline is dying, and that's why we need Rock and Roman at Mania, because it needs to end. We need to, and that's the end of the bloodline. Once Roman defeats Rock, becomes the head of the table, and then goes on to lose his belt to Cody, it's all done with. So he can finish the bloodline story. Everyone can move on. Solo can move on, and then Roman will face Cody and lose it all and then disappear from TV for a while and come back when he needs to, a la Brock Lesnar was doing. But yeah, I didn't really like anything about this. The whole ending with all of them with the 2 matches back to back, it was like one long match. It
Yeah.
was all kind of weird, but there was some good. I want to talk about Pete Dunne becoming Pete Dunne again. Once again, we're getting rid of the Vince and bringing in the Triple H. People
Yeah.
keep crapping on Triple H,
Took
but
him a
he's
long
doing what he
time,
needs.
but he did
It
it.
took him a
Yeah.
long, but you know what? But maybe I was hearing, once again, I don't know these people probably don't know people, that Pete Dunne didn't really hate the Butch thing. So, but reading what the new reports was that Vince wanted Butch to just be like a Scrappy Doo character and not fight anybody and wrestle, which is just weird. But Pete Dunne, I'm glad he was back. He looked good. And I like that Logan Paul KO segment.
That was great. Yeah.
I didn't like the punch. I keep saying how much I hate that people are not, they no sell finishers. Like, that's Logan's finisher. I know he does the Hangman Page move, but his finisher is that punch. That's what he does. And he like hits KO. By the way, KO said I would get up in 3 seconds. It took him like 18. I counted, by the way. I rewound and counted because I was like, but he did get up and like no sold it. I'm really sick of no selling. Like, it's bothering me. But segment was cool. Logan Paul ending up on top. I like it. He'll probably end up on the bottom tonight so he can win at Rumble. But I like what I saw from that. So KO and Logan Paul, man, I'm saying it right now. That's still in the show. The end. Everyone
Yeah.
other than the surprises, when you talk about like the best match, that's going to be talked about
Yeah.
as the best match of the night.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that was probably the best segment. I love the
Mm-hmm.
Logan Paul. Logan Paul is just, he's a phenomenal heel. He is
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. And I don't know if you saw, but to continue this feud, Logan Paul and Kevin Owens got into a brawl at the Performance Center this week. I don't know if it was yesterday or sometime. It
I
was
like it. I like that stuff.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah. And Kevin Owens was there. He was trying to walk away. He was just done training, and Logan Paul was talking trash to him. And then Logan Paul threw a bottle of Prime at Kevin Owens, and then he ran in there.
Yep.
It was just, it's fantastic. And I like it when they do that. They kind of blur that line between, like, is this real? Is this supposed to happen? Well, that was unexpected. And then, they also took it off of TV and put it on social media. And this whole thing was live on Instagram. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. And
Me too.
I can't wait to see what these guys do at the Rumble, because I have no doubt, like you said, they're going to steal the show.
100%. 100%. All right, let's move to Raw. Right?
Before we do,
you want one more?
One more thing on SmackDown. That was the last episode for WWE announcer Kevin Patrick on SmackDown. Because
we didn't bring up Kevin Patrick.
Yeah, as of this week, first it was reported that he has moved off of commentary, but now he has been officially released from the WWE. So, I didn't really hate him as a commentator. I know a lot of people did, but I didn't really like him. I didn't really hate him. It was kind of meh. And then, but I didn't want him to lose his job. But, but maybe that's business, right? Like, they promoted you from, a backstage reporter to a commentator and couldn't make it work. So they had to do something. But yeah. So I'm curious to see. Michael Cole apparently is replacing him tonight on SmackDown, but it's not going to be permanent moving forward. I think they're going to bring somebody back. There's a certain 70-plus-year-old man who wears a cowboy hat who's not re-signed his contract with AEW apparently. And I'm talking about good old JR. Maybe he could come back. Or what I want to see is Mauro Ranallo. That's who I want to come back. I think
really,
Vince McMahon is gone. JBL is gone. Triple H he's bringing in a new culture in the WWE. I could see him because they need a play-by-play guy. They don't need a color commentator, and that I think people are like, oh, bring back Pat McAfee, but Pat McAfee was more of
No.
the color. He was more like
Yeah, he was,
he's the
yeah.
Corey Graves. They need a play-by-play, and I think either JR or Byron Saxton's not bad. Or
I like Saxon. What about William Regal? But what
I
about
can see that too.
what about, although I think he's just NXT, right? What about oh god, what about Booker T? I like that Booker T still has his job, but
yeah,
Kevin Patrick was terminated. Like, anyway,
I wouldn't
go ahead.
I wouldn't mind that Vic Joseph. Speaking of Booker T, Vic Joseph is low key one of the best commentators in WWE.
Yeah.
He is fantastic with that.
Yeah.
Like putting up with Booker T and some of his mannerisms and stuff he says, but also some of this when he gets into it with wrestlers and yelling at Braun Breaker for almost killing Von Wagner. Just the little things that he does. I dig Vic Joseph. I wouldn't mind seeing him on SmackDown.
I don't need any more Michael Cole. I think I'm the only one who doesn't really dig. I've never dug Michael Cole. I don't get it. And he fumbles his words a lot. I don't really like he missays things all the time. And now his new thing is I'm old. I'm like, bro, like you got to stop messing up people's names and shit. But he was like Gunther when we could talk about that when he announced he's going to win at the Royal Rumble on Sunday. But like, I don't know. It's so funny. X was more funny with this than it was anything else that came out this week. The fact that all these dudes were like, and girls were begging to have Kevin Patrick get off commentary because he sucked. And as soon as they fire him, now they're all like, oh no, that's not fair.
Yeah, we don't want him to be fired.
You guys all literally I actually enjoyed him. I thought he worked well with Corey Graves. Corey Graves is over the top. He wasn't. I thought maybe he didn't hate him enough. Yeah. That's why I don't understand why he was terminated. He was also a phenomenal backstage guy, but I think as from now, because here I watched SmackDown for a couple of reasons, but two of them are Kathy Kelly and Kayla Braxton, the two hottest women alive, and they're both backstage doing SmackDown. But I've noticed now they have that one weird looking girl who does Raw. They have another girl who does the girl does NXT, and now AEW has that one girl and Renee Paquette. I feel like she's beautiful. I feel like we're just now into the stage where you have to be like a pretty girl to do backstage in wrestling now. Is that the new thing? Like, I mean, they're all talented. I'm not taking that away. I'm just saying they're all pretty women. It's not a lot of men doing backstage promos anymore. So maybe that's why they were going to put them back. And then they were like, meh, we're kind of over that part of our lives having guys, which I get, because here's the thing, right? I know people are going to be like, oh, that's sexist, pretty girls. No, girls need to be more prominent in wrestling. And if that's the way they're going to do it, then hey, whatever. That's still a good role. I don't see that as a diss. You know what I mean? To have all women, why have men interviewing men? It's just like men everywhere. So why not have some girls back there and have them all do it? So, and Kayla Braxton and Kathy Kelly are both phenomenal at their job.
Oh, fantastic.
It is what it is. So Renee Paquette, one of the best in the world at what she does. So you can have both. But yeah, poor Kevin Patrick, man. But we'll see who they get.
Yeah, we'll see.
Poor Kevin Patrick. But he still has a job. He does like MLS and stuff. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He'll be like fine. He's homeless. Yeah. All right, let's get into Raw. You ready?
Yes. Got a lot to talk about Raw.
60 seconds. Let's go. Seth Rollins opens the show to say nothing, but he doesn't listen to doctors. That's good. Out comes Gunther, who thinks the Royal Rumble is on Sunday, and he also thinks Rollins is tough, but he'll win the Royal Rumble and then defeat him at Mania. The New Day and Imperium end in a double count out, but then they continue to fight for another 45 minutes, and they both end up, all four of them break through a table. Good stuff, though. The Judgment Day argue backstage again, and Mommy wants Finn to bring back his vicious side. Ivy Nile defeats Valhalla. Jay Uso loves the New Day, and Kofi wants a title shot against Gunther. Nia Jax cuts a promo about squashing people. Lynch cuts her off. Bayley cuts her off, and they all brawl. Rhea Ripley, though, is not impressed by Becky Lynch. Dirty Dom finally gets a win and defeats The Miz. R-Truth offers Priest money again, I guess. I don't know. Ivar defeats Chad Gable. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk cut a promo. Rhodes is Punk and Punk is Rhodes. They both will win the Royal Rumble.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Right?
Einhorn is Finkel.
Is that how you thought of it?
Yeah.
Ace Ventura all day, every day. That's why I wrote that. It was so stupid. Anyway, all right. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Speaking of the Royal Rumbles, Hulk Hogan will be in it, brother. We have Baszler and Stark winning again. They wrestle the same tag team every week. Damage Control want tag titles, and Jinder wants to know what's next. And we end the show with Drew McIntyre defeating Damian Priest in the main event because of R-Truth, sort of, I guess. And that is the Monday Night Raw recap. Finkel. For those of you who don't know, that's Ace Ventura,
Ace Ventura when they
with Dan
had to-
Marino, and
yeah.
great movie if you haven't seen it.
Einhorn is Finkel.
Einhorn is Finkel. I know all there is to know about the crying game.
Oh
I
man,
love when that song kicks on too.
such a good movie. Such a
Girl, now that movie is. When they rip his dress off and she has her legs crossed so you can't see her dinky. That movie's so good.
It is. It's funny.
All right. What's going on? Let's hear it.
Yeah. So
want to start with
talk
Punk and Cody?
Punk and Cody. So I dug this segment. I thought it was it might be my favorite Punk promo since he's been back in the WWE. I thought he brought it. I thought Cody, he always brings it on the mic. A couple of minor gripes, but I would have ended the show with this instead of the Damian Priest, the Damian Priest Drew McIntyre match, and had end the show with them going nose to nose, because I think we all expect them to, one of them or both of them, to be the final two in the Royal Rumble, maybe the final four in the Royal Rumble. So I would have ended the show with that. But a couple of minor things that I didn't like from the promo, but and that was when Cody Rhodes was talking and he said that, you know, everything you said in your pipe bomb, I did, which is true. He got to main event WrestleMania, and he got to, you know, he got to do the things that CM Punk only wishes he could have done.
Start his own company, Revolution.
But but the thing is like, the one thing he said is, when you left, and you dropped that torch and you didn't pass it to anybody. You just dropped it. And I was here to pick it up. Were you though? Were you? Because when Punk left, you became Stardust. And like, let's not forget that. But you became Stardust when Punk left. And it was Roman Reigns that was carrying the company. It was Seth Rollins who was carrying the company. I know he's not there anymore, but it was the Daniel Bryan main evented that WrestleMania when he was gone. Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Brock Lesnar was carrying the company. Kevin Owens, you could make an argument, was, you know, kind of climbing up the ranks in the company. He became the Universal Champion, the second Universal Champion after Finn Balor relinquished the title. You could say that Drew McIntyre, because, you know, he did carry the company during the COVID time. So, you know, even though he had to leave for a little bit too, I just think they all did more for the WWE than Cody Rhodes did. And yes, Cody's done fantastic the last 2 years. You know, could you say he's carrying the company? I don't know. I'm not really to say that, but it just that one line really kind of bugged me about this promo was, you know, you dropped the torch and I picked it up and I've been carrying it ever since. No, you really haven't. But
he also left.
Yeah,
so after Punk left.
Yeah,
it would make a lot of sense. Yeah.
The one thing I did like though was they didn't reference AEW whatsoever. Not one single reference, and I'm sure that was by design, but also, you know, they were both there together for 5 months, and they never once said anything, never even acknowledged that it existed. They just talked about their time in the WWE. They talked about how Dusty Rhodes sent Punk to look after Cody and kind of keep an eye on him. So I thought it was a fantastic segment. It was very well done. I liked them going nose to nose there at the end. It was, I'm excited. I'm excited about this Royal Rumble, and that promo battle made me even more excited for it.
I'm super excited about this Royal Rumble because we really don't know who's going to win. I mean, we'll do our predictions, and I think I know, but you don't know who's going to surprise entry. And that's both sides. You don't know what's happening right now, and that's what's going to make it that much better. I loved it. I thought Cody, you're dogging his promo a little bit on that part, which I agree with, but I do think Cody got the best of the promo only because he had, once again, more to say. If you have more to say, Punk had a little bit less lines, a less time to kick, but they both killed it. They both destroyed it. I like that they did it. I don't think everyone's like reading into everything, especially Sports Illustrated, just because they talked and Gunther and Seth talked, which we'll talk about next probably, that guarantees are wrestling. No, they're doing that with everybody. I like that Drew got his time, Drew and Priest, and so on, and this.
Drew and Cody last week.
Drew and Cody they're just trying to mix everybody up. I love it. Keep us intrigued. And it just shows how top heavy the WWE is right now. Like, they have stars upon stars upon stars upon stars. Another reason why it'll be Roman versus The Rock, because all these guys should just be wrestling each other at Mania and stay out of Roman's way and let Roman finish his business as the head of the table of the Bloodline. But yeah, you want to talk about that Gunther Seth opening? I mean, I thought it was wax sauce, Seth.
I did too.
coming out. I mean, here's the thing: you're going to have him sit for 4 to 5 weeks, and not. We already have a champion who doesn't defend. So, why are we going to have him now hold up the title too? Why didn't you have Damian cash in, win the title, have him defend it at Rumble and other cards, and as soon as Seth, if he does come back, Seth can win it at Elimination Chamber. Seth can win it at Monday Night Raw before nobody thinks Damian's gonna, but at least you give Damian a month or so reign, which is cool. You let him cash in positively, in a positive, so it's not a unsuccessful cash in. He gets a taste of blood as a champion. You see how he's recepted and how if people are into it or not. And it gives the Judgment Day a little push to go into WrestleMania season. And then you have him lose to Seth once he's healthy. And now I don't understand why that was like, so why keep the belt on Seth? What is he going to do? Walk out every week and talk? And then like, now you don't have him defending at Rumble. Now you don't. And the person who wins the Rumble, they're going to call out Seth, like an injured guy. And I don't like it at all. I didn't like his reasoning. I didn't like that they cut him off before he finished. And then he's like, well, Gunther, I didn't even really like that Gunther came out, and Gunther fumbled his words. He didn't do a good comeback though. That he texted saying,
"Yeah, I saw that
in like Germany or where that it is on at Sunday or something." Yeah,
it's at
like
2:00 in the morning. Yeah, because they're 6 hours ahead. Yeah,
that was really good. I did like that he like helped himself on his flub. But I thought that him and Gunther back and forth was boring city. I was like, guys, like. What are you talking? Like, get to what you're saying.
Yeah, I was really confused by is Gunther a heel? Because he wasn't acting like a heel. He was shaking his hand. He was like, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble and I'm going to call you out. You're a respectable champion.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, and yeah, like that was my big problem with it was just, is he a babyface? Is he a heel? Was he supposed to be a heel in that? It was really confusing. And then again, like you said, we have Roman Reigns not defending his championship. Now we're going to have Seth Rollins not defending his championship. We may not see Logan Paul until WrestleMania after. So really Gunther's going to be the only championship that
men's wise
that we'll have on a full-time basis. But even then, I also felt like him coming out with the Intercontinental Championship, challenging Seth Rollins. It kind of, to me, that's what Vince McMahon used to do back in the day, where you devalue the Intercontinental Championship by having him want to compete in the Royal Rumble, and B, want to challenge for the top prize, one of the top prize on the brand, when your title should be the top prize and should be looked at as one of the top prizes. So I didn't care for this at all. And if we were doing highs and lows right now, I would be saying that I'm really low on Triple H's use of the last two Money in the Bank winners on Monday Night Raw.
I agree.
Austin Theory. Now I know Austin Theory wasn't a pick of Triple H to win the thing, but Triple H booked him to cash in on the U.S. Championship and lose. And now Damian Priest, like, he's making him look like a complete and utter moron. Number one, why is he in the Royal Rumble in the first place? You have a golden ticket to
Thank you. I'm glad you're bringing it up.
Of WrestleMania. Number two, why didn't he cash in on Seth Rollins, like you said, when he's on one leg, or when Shinsuke Nakamura had, targeted his back in that last man standing match? But instead you have him try to cash in the middle of a Survivor Series match when Randy Orton hasn't even come out yet, or in the middle of a match against Drew McIntyre, or in the middle of a match against, Jinder Mahal. Like, why is he cashing in the randomest places? And it's just driving me crazy with how Damian Priest is being booked, and he looks like a complete and utter idiot. Now he's in the Rumble, and it just makes no sense too. I don't get it. And then he lost. He lost the main event to McIntyre.
Yeah, so what's even the point? Yeah, we can't have a DQ in that. Like, I'm so confused on him being in the Rumble. Like, talk about a waste of your time and body. And I mean, unless he just really wants to add Royal Rumble winner to his resume, what are you like? Honestly, he can honestly go to Triple H right now and say, I want to face Roman at Mania. And he has to do it. That's a guaranteed contract. It doesn't have to be a sneak attack. Doesn't have to be when Triple H says no. He can pick the time and place. That's what that is. Why not just do that? And it's so
I know.
stupid.
It drives me crazy.
So stupid. Yeah. Why is he in it? And there's like 6 people announced, which I really like. But yet they have him as one of the people. Why not just have him like, I don't know.
More Money in the Bank will be in the. Oh, so annoying.
I hope he wins.
Yeah. What happens if he does win?
Lose? I can fight again.
Yeah. Or like, like what happens if he wins?
And then challenge Roman and be a double
on night 2. Yeah.
Anyway, that was And then lastly, because I know we got to get going, we talked about this news for a while. Let's talk about the women's though. I like the whole Rhea Ripley being involved with the Becky and Nia and adding in Bailey because now the fans are realizing that Bailey's probably going to win. They added all them. Once again, I like the intrigue. Who's going to win, right? Is it going to be Becky? Is it going to be Nia? Is it going to be Bailey? None of them have to win because they have other outlets. So once again, I do like that they're showing it. And they're kind of confirming the fact that 2 or all 3 of these women will be fighting for the title at Mania, which I like too. So, but you never know. We're going to get some surprises. We'll get into that. So,
yeah.
All right. Anything else? I mean,
I don't think so. It was
I'm over it. Yeah, that was pretty much
a solid episode of Raw. And, the last, or that was the night before we got the news about them going to Netflix. So it was a big Monday and Tuesday for WWE.
It was not such a good Wednesday. All right. So NXT, you ready? I'm sure there's only 2 things we'll talk about on this, but are you ready? Let's go. 60-second recap. The show opens with Corbin and Breaker moving on to the finals of the Dusty Classic. Josh Briggs will fight Trick Williams later tonight. We get the return of William Regal. Maybe 3 things we'll talk about to tell us that Ava is now the GM of NXT because her father is a board member. Lash Legend beats Ren Sinclair. OTM invade the D'Angelo family restaurant. Dijax and Joe Gacy don't have a match. I don't know what the heck happened. Elektra Lopez is looking for Lola Vice. Elektra Lopez is looking for Lola Vice. Also, Elektra Lopez is looking for Lola Vice. Lexis King finally gets a win. Carmelo Hayes tells Trick Williams not to get tricked by Dragunov. Lola Vice is a guest on Noam Dar's show. And guess who finds her?
She did.
She found her. She was looking for her, and she found her. Yay. We're going to get Lola versus Lopez next week. Tony D is going to get revenge. Chase U, something we'll probably talk about, is shut down and class is dismissed. Dragon Lee beats Scripps for some reason, but Oba Fema will give him a title shot now. Paxley is stalking Valkyria. Blair Davenport gets a win. Trick Williams defeats Josh Briggs. Briggs attacks Williams after. Hale has a crush on Osborne, who for some reason didn't get the memo that class was dismissed because he was still rocking that Chase U t-shirt. The show closes with the contract signing of Valkyria and Perez. Out comes Paxley from under the table to put Perez through said table to close the show. And that's the NXT recap. Did you not think it was weird that Osborne was still rocking that shirt? I saw him come out with it on. I'm like, bro, your university closed down. You don't have to
school's
wear
over
it anymore.
It's over, man. Go home.
Was that a sad part of the show? Did you kind of feel sad when he was just like standing there like Will Smith in the empty house at the end of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I was a little upset about that, but at the same time I'm also like, okay, finally it's over because they've been doing that whole Chase U misused funds storyline over the money and so I'm like, okay, finally we get some closure to a story for once, unlike one Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, did he or didn't he attack him in the parking lot thing? Are we ever going to get so are we going to talk about the nepotism hire of Ava being the new GM?
I said it. Is that not I mean I know they were hinting at it, but why did William Regal have to do it? So his year was up a little while ago that he can come back, and that's how they have him come back. I mean, I guess to kind of give her the rub. She just has no charisma, man. I mean, I know it's a good way to get her out there, but she's not wrestling. Is that a reason? She had one match. It was meh. Now she's just kind of like dull talking, and then The Rock. And I thought it was weird timing to announce that. I thought so.
Apparently, I think Shawn Michaels did an interview and said it was 100% purely coincidence. He had no idea The Rock was going to be named to the board that morning. So I think he said it was just purely coincidental, but I don't know. Then
change it.
Yeah, I am like William Regal. That's the big comeback, like that we've all been waiting for him. You can't bring him back to say War Games. You can't bring him back to be a commentator, or why can't he be the commissioner or the runner of NXT on screen? Why does it have to be Ava?
He was before.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Ava. I think hopefully this gives her a little bit of personality and a little bit of charisma. Maybe she can be a heel GM at some point, and but it just feels like the crowd doesn't really know which way to cheer for her right now.
I don't know. You got a really strong GM on SmackDown and Raw. They're both killing it.
Yeah.
And then you have Ava. Like, why not William Regal be the GM and Ava be like
The
his
assistant
like
or something.
yeah. And I don't want to say assistant to like make it sound bad, but assistants are good as well. Like grooming her and how like why didn't we do that?
Like we had with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, like something like that.
Yes,
that really helped Sonya Deville kind of become that. Yeah,
kind of
re-energize her a little bit. So
yeah. Let's Corbin and Breaker. I mean, are they not the best tag team in wrestling today?
They got to win they better win this tournament. They better win over Trick Mello. Yeah. But
yeah.
I hope they do. It was fantastic. Yeah. And
Breaker murdered that dude. That dude's family started funeral arrangements after that spear.
And I know you've always been a Corbin fan, but man, that man is smooth in the ring. Some of those moves he was putting Homeboy in was just, all of it was good. I mean, he's smooth, he's fluid. He is the
safest, supposedly.
He is fantastic in the ring and completely underrated and unappreciated. But yeah, I love Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin together, and I want to see them win this Dusty Rhodes Invitational and win the NXT Tag Team Championships. They deserve it.
I agree. All right, you ready? We done?
Yeah, I think so. That's all I got for NXT.
All right, good week. I'll keep talking until you're ready to hit that music. But yeah, man, good week of wrestling for the most part. They had some ups, some downs. Obviously, not a good week for WWE with the news.
Yeah,
it started good, and then that disgusting
whirlwind.
But other than that, everything else, good week for WWE. And we're into my favorite season. I am a big, big fan of the Royal Rumble. I like the Royal Rumble more than I like WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the attraction. Sure, you want to see who's going to win, but Royal Rumble is always my favorite event. Always the best thing to do.
I know.
So
I want to go to a Royal Rumble one year. That's like on my Now that we've done Mania, I want to do a Royal Rumble, a SummerSlam, and a Survivor Series. I want to do all the big four.
I've done SummerSlam all the time because it used to only be in LA. Remember those days?
Mm-hmm.
I was at the one where Brock Lesnar like squashed John Cena and suplexed him 8,000 times. I think I've talked about it before.
Yeah, I was at the one in 2000. That's the last time we had SummerSlam here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And that was the main event was The Rock versus Kurt Angle versus Triple H. It was the Stephanie McMahon love triangle.
Oh, yeah.
So that was fun. And Undertaker unmasked Kane. That was fun. But
talk about the weird Vince stuff and believing everything that's being said about him, which is probably true. The stuff that he used to do to his daughter, I didn't realize it because I was in high school and I was just like, super excited to see Stephanie McMahon the way she was. But when you go back and look at it, man,
it's pretty cringe. Yeah.
Heck? Yeah. I have a daughter, a father of a man who has a daughter. I would
no. Yeah.
I mean, my daughter could do whatever she wants in her life. She's her own woman, but I wouldn't be the one doing it.
No,
I want you to dress like this. There was even like, you remember there was parts where like they were like fake, like getting into each. I don't know. Vince is weird. That's why it's hard not to believe everything you read on those texts. He's a weird freaking dude. Anyway, enough about Vince. I want to move on. Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yeah. You know what time it is, right?
Oh, I know what time it is.
Prediction time. Before it ever happens, is a prediction. Lean in close, take notes, listen. Cause they about to point it out quickly. All the things that you didn't see is getting called like plays at the line of scrimmage. You can take it to the bank, the dudes ain't tripping. They've been seeing what's coming for a good minute. It's prediction time, yeah, let's get it.
Man, I love him.
I do too.
Yeah. I also love that he said get some pencils because that's true, but don't take it to the bank. I'm usually 100% incorrect with every one of my predictions. So I don't want you to want your money back. Let's go. There are 4 full matches. I checked hard after you said it. I was like, there's no way there are only 4 matches. Because I know that like each Rumble is going to be over an hour. So it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes. Then the other 2, like Roman's probably going to go 40 minutes, 45 minutes, right? So that's, I mean, that makes sense. That's
I went back and looked. I think
that makes sense.
Last year's Royal Rumble had 6 matches, I think. Now I said I went back and looked. Now I can't remember how many it had, but then we had the Firefly Funhouse match. We had the Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair match.
Oh,
and then we had
Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, I know. And then we had the 2, or it was the Mountain Dew glow in the dark match or whatever it was that with LA Knight and Bray Wyatt.
Oh, that was at the Rumble.
Yeah, the pitch black match.
Then we had Wyatt. That's like his last memory of a match. Is that like atrocious? Like man.
And we had the Alexa Bliss when she was kind of going back to that character with Bray Wyatt against Bianca Belair. Then we had the 2 Rumbles, and then we had Sami Zayn and turning on Roman Reigns in the main event against Kevin Owens. So 5 matches.
All right, and then I'm gonna go in the order I think these matches are. We'll do.
All right, let's do it.
So I'm gonna go Women's Royal Rumble. I think that's gonna open up the show. I think so.
They opened with the men's last year, so it makes sense that we'll open with the men. The female.
I don't think they're gonna open up with the men's just because
I don't think so.
Gonna be a big time person.
Yeah.
That's not to say men are better. I'm just saying I think that like they're gonna do like the winner is gonna be bigger than probably who I think the women's winner is gonna be. All right. I want the winner. Any surprises? However many you got. Let's go.
This one's hard, but
it really is.
I'm gonna go Bayley. I think Bayley's gonna win the Women's Royal Rumble. And as far as surprises are concerned, so I think the final 4 will be. I think it'll be Becky Lynch. I think it'll be Bayley. I think it'll be Jade Cargill, and I think it'll be Nia Jax. And
so that's one of your surprises then, Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I think Jade Cargill will be one of the surprises, and we'll finally get to kind of see what she's capable of doing in the ring. I think we'll finally see what she's been training for all this time. My other big surprise is, I talked about her a minute ago, Sonya Deville. I think she'll come back and...
Is she ready?
I hope so. I think apparently she's been training at the Performance Center. She has a torn ACL. So I hope that she comes back. And I could see her eliminating either Piper Niven, or I could see her eliminating Chelsea Green, because, you replaced me with a new partner when I left, and starting a little feud there. I could see them bringing back Liv Morgan, but the more I think about it, the more I feel like it'll be too crowded there, because then if you bring her back, she's got to win it, and I don't think she's going to. So I can see them doing it, but I don't see it. But the other one I think they're going to bring back is AJ Lee. I think AJ Lee will make an appearance in the Women's Rumble. I don't think she'll be there permanently. I don't think she'll be there full time. Like kind of like what they did last year with Nia Jax at number 30, where she'll come out and then get the pop, maybe eliminate somebody, maybe eliminate
Michelle McCool.
Yeah, maybe eliminate like Michelle McCool, maybe eliminate Nikki Cross, who's kind of that crazy character, the same character that AJ Lee is kind of a little bit, and then we won't see her for a while. But I think it'll be a one-time thing where she comes back. So I say AJ Lee, Michelle McCool, Jade Cargill, and Sonya Deville.
All right, I like it. I got Bayley winning as well, 100%. I think it needs to happen. Out of all the women who are rumored, she's the only one, because she hasn't really been getting wins. She needs this win. I think she needs that help more than a Nia Jax or a Becky Lynch. My top 4 is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to say I think Jade Cargill is going to be a surprise person. I think she needs to go 1 or 2. I think
I can see that.
That's because she has to have a good run. So she's not going to win it. So she needs to have something to go off of, most eliminations, or she needs to have like the longest time this year. She needs to have something to still push her after the Raw. Yeah, whatever it is, whether she eliminates 10 girls or she is the longest, she does it for an hour. She needs to have something to her name before she gets eliminated. I think we're going to have a lot of returns. I think we're going to have Trish Stratus. I think we're going to have AJ Lee. I think they're both going to come back. I think Trish is going to have issues with, somebody, maybe a Zoe Stark, and they're going to eliminate each other. I think AJ Lee is going to come out, eliminate a few nobodies, and then have her wave and thank you CM Punk for bringing her back. But I'm going to have a different top 4. I think Nia Jax and Becky Lynch are going to wrestle Rhea at Mania. I think it's going to be a 3-way, and I think they're going to eliminate each other before the final 4. My final 4 is going to be Bayley, Jade Cargill, and the returning Sasha Banks and Naomi. I
forgot about Naomi. Yeah.
Bayley has history with Sasha and Naomi. I think they're all going to team up to eliminate Jade Cargill, and they're all going to act like friends and hug it out, and then they're going to turn on her. And I think right afterwards, Bayley's going to find a way to either go under the rope and they're both going to fall over or something in double elimination. But I think Bayley is going to win, and we're going to get the return of Sasha and Naomi. And I think Sasha and Naomi are going to go back to back and when they enter.
They should.
I'm telling you. I think Banks is coming back. I'm not even going to try to crap on AEW's ratings on That's Why, but that's why. Like, who wants to go? Why would she return there to make a couple extra bucks when she can go to WWE and make money and,
Yeah.
do other things and wrestle a lot of these girls. I think it's going to be a crowded women's Royal Rumble. I just hope it doesn't turn into being like no surprises, because WWE has done that at Royal Rumble
last year.
Nobody.
Last year the big surprise was Chelsea Green, and she was eliminated in like
right.
25 seconds, and the men didn't even have a surprise.
Well, last year was Michelle McCool. She might come back too for fun.
Yeah.
She was the one, right? She was sitting in the audience, and then she was like, all right, and just like jumped over, and that was fun.
Yeah. But the men's had no surprises last year.
Yeah.
Cody entered at number 30. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and won. It was like pretty much a foregone conclusion. By the way, Michelle McCool, I don't know if you saw, but there was a funny thing where Damien, Dominic, and Rhea are watching Royal Rumble last year, and they're like commenting on it. I think other wrestlers
I've seen this.
And Michelle came out, and Dominic says something about like, or Rhea. One of them says like, oh, I think Rhea says she would be a good addition to Judgment Day, or Dominic does or something. And then Dominic's like, yeah, we can have another mommy. And Rhea and Damien are like, bro, that's Undertaker's like, what? They're like so disgusted at the fact that he said that like Michelle McCool could be a mommy. He's like, bro, that's Taker's. I just love how much respect Taker has in this world, that even when you make a joke, they're like, bro, shut up. You can't. Don't be talking about Taker's woman.
Yeah. His character would be perfect in Judgment Day.
And Michelle McCool, just because he's mommy doesn't mean that she has to be like the mistress. She's just I think he meant it that way, but it was funny. All right. Next match, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens. Who you got?
Logan Paul. It's a matter of how he wins, not if he wins. But Logan Paul is going to retain that U.S. championship.
Because of returning Sami Zayn, who turns on Kevin Owens?
I could see that. I still think Sami Zayn's coming at the Rumble. I don't think he's going to, because they're on two brands. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess the brand split doesn't really mean much. But yeah, I could see Sami Zayn costing him that would be an interesting twist, because he turned babyface at the Rumble last year, and he turns heel at the Rumble this year. So
yeah. We'll see. I got Logan Paul. Yeah, I got Logan Paul too, but I'm just wondering. I got Logan Paul though.
Yeah.
All right. Then we're probably gonna have like a Miss TV or something, or R-Truth is gonna come out, and then they're gonna dance around in a circle, right? They gotta have to kill a little bit of time. Men's Rumble winner surprises. Okay. Who you got? Do you think it's going in this order? By the way, am I doing this order correctly?
I could see. Yeah, I think so. I think
we're ending with the main event, right?
It has
to end with
So I'm gonna go CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. This is my final four. Okay. Drew McIntyre and The Rock. And I think The Rock is winning the 2024 Royal Rumble. Yeah, I think The Rock is he's gonna surprise. He's gonna be the surprise, the only surprise of the men's Rumble. We probably get a couple of returns here and there, but I see The Rock coming out. He's from Florida. I know Miami and Tampa are two completely different cities, but he's from Florida. And he loves it down there. I could see him making an appearance. I could see him going into the Rumble. I think he enters at number 30, or no, maybe like 27 or so. But he's going to enter the Rumble. He's going to eliminate Drew McIntyre, which is going to have Drew McIntyre pissed that he lost his opportunity again. He got screwed out because of a part-time returner, kind of keeping up with his character. He's going to eliminate CM Punk, and he's going to eliminate Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes and The Rock are going to stare each other down, but it's going to set up for Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 40, because The Rock is winning the 2024 Men's Royal Rumble.
And you still think Punk faces Seth?
Yeah, I think Punk will face Seth at WrestleMania, because Punk he's already been announced for Elimination Chamber. So to me, it makes sense that he goes into Elimination Chamber, and the winner of that faces Seth at WrestleMania, because they're not going to put the world title on the line, because Seth is hurt, so they're not going to put that belt on the line. Roman's not going to be there. He's already been told that he's not going to be there, that we know of. So yeah, I could see CM Punk winning the Elimination Chamber, and then Cody Rhodes will wrestle like Randy Orton or somebody.
All right. Oh, this one was hard.
It was hard. Yeah.
I'm torn between CM Punk, and I'm torn between The Rock. Let me start with my surprises. One, I got The Rock. Two,
of course,
I got Hulk Hogan.
Oh God,
he said it. He's gonna come out. He's gonna.
He lives in Tampa,
and then and then he'll take a clothesline. He'll be in it for like 3 minutes.
Solo should eliminate him.
Ooh, that'd be fun. 3, I have X-Pac, because he keeps saying he's not going to do it and that he's not in shape and that it's rumors. When you talk about something so much, I feel like it's real. I got X-Pac coming to do a little bit of fun. Every single year until he appears, I'm going to keep saying him. I got Matt Cardona. I'm going to keep saying Matt Cardona until my ears bleed. And are you ready for this one?
Yeah, bring it.
You ready?
Yeah, what you got?
I got MJF
Oh,
appearing at the Royal Rumble tomorrow. I don't
okay.
think he signed with AEW. I'm starting to really believe that. I think that's why they've like completely changed everything, and what they're doing on AEW does not feel like the AEW of when MJF was there. I think they're moving on. We'll talk about that in our next episode, but I got MJF. He doesn't have to win, just like Jade Cargill. I got MJF surprise, and it's going to blow the freaking roof off, and he's going to start a feud possibly with the person who eliminates him, Cody Rhodes. I got Cody
I
versus
like that.
MJF
Yeah.
at Mania. I'm going with it, and I think all these Cody fans will then get over the fact that he's not. You need something big for him. He can't just wrestle Damian Priest or Seth.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's got to
I can
happen.
see it, man. Yeah. And,
And
and
yeah.
I've said this before, but I would love to see, like, how big of an FU would it be if to AEW, if at one point in the, like, everybody's been eliminated, not saying they're the final four, but while we're waiting for the next
but like
entrant to
in
come out,
you got
you
all
have
AEW guys.
you have CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, MJF, and Andrade, all in opposite corners of each other, all just staring at each other. Like, you imagine the big FU to AEW if that happens, because they once had all four of those guys on their roster. Yeah,
100%.
Oh man. Oh yeah. I
I
would
have
love
Andrade
that.
too. I'm giving you chills with this, huh?
Yeah,
I got
I would love
Andrade
that.
too. If it's not an X-Pac or a Cardona, I can see Andrade coming back as well. Winner, it's either one. Punk and Rock, I'm so torn. I can picture The Rock losing in the top 4 with a Solo interference, Solo being eliminated number 5, and then like The Rock, like him like jumping on the thing when he's up against the ropes and like spiking him and having The Rock fall out to lead to now The Rock can go that path and have CM Punk face Seth Rollins. I'm going to go either way. If I got to say it, if The Rock appears, I just feel like the fans are going to be upset if The Rock wins. He might get the Batista treatment, which is like what we're like on the anniversary of
10 years.
Batista
Yeah.
being mistreated. I never was that person. You can go back and check my tweets. I never once ever dogged when that happened. I thought it was unfair the way Batista was treated, but I'll go Rock. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. And I guess we know who's going to win. We already predicted Roman, Randy, AJ, LA Knight for the undisputed. Who do you got?
This is a foregone conclusion that it's going
who's
to be
getting pinned?
LA Knight.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're on the
LA
same
Knight's
page.
taking the pin. Now I could see maybe The Rock making an appearance in this match, and or he stares down Roman afterwards, or something, and they all point to the WrestleMania sign or something. I could see that if The Rock doesn't enter the Royal Rumble and he doesn't want to get physical. So I could see them doing something like that. But either way, Roman Reigns is retaining, and LA Knight's going to take the pin.
All right, there it is. Those are our predictions. They're probably all going to be wrong, or maybe they're all going to be right. We'll see. But what I love about it, it's not predictable. But I'll guarantee you this: on Saturday night at 11:05 Eastern Time, X is going to blow up, and everybody's going to talk about how predictable the Royal Rumble
100%.
was.
Yeah,
get with it, because everything is predictable once you know the results. So, but I'm saying it here, this is the most unpredictable. I don't care if Bayley wins and The Rock wins, and we both said it. That does not mean it was predictable. It is not predictable. I have no idea what's going to happen just because we made predictions. But
and this is the first time in a while too where we don't really know. We don't have any idea what's going to happen. Like last year, we kind of had an inkling Cody Rhodes was going to come back and win, and we were going to do Cody Roman at WrestleMania. This year, we have no idea on either side. I wouldn't have it any other way. This is perfect. I love it.
Can I go with one more random? I know we're already 20 minutes over and we got to do AEW, but I'm going to say right now with all this Brock stuff going on, although, you know, whatever else, whether it's him or not, I don't think he's going to be at Rumble now. I thought he was going to be. I think we get Gunther versus John Cena for the IC title. I think they want Gunther to have a big match because he's that guy. I think we get Gunther, John Cena, and don't be surprised if Cena finally becomes a
Grand Slam champion.
The Grand Slam champion and beats Gunther for the IC
I could see that. Yeah. I hope not.
I need something for Gunther. I want Kaiser to do it, but I just don't know if Kaiser's a big enough name for Mania to be that
Chad
guy.
Gable.
That's what I'm hearing too. So we'll
have
see.
Chad Gable eliminate Gunther from the Rumble, and that's all the story you need.
Yeah, but we'll see. All right. That was it. WWE. Apologize for how long it went. Apologize for all the nasty stuff that was going on. But once again, we're going to keep trucking. We're going to throw that guy out of our, hopefully, talks for a while and just focus on the wrestling, which needs to be done. As always, I'm the Heartbreak Dude, Denton. You can get me everywhere at HBD Denton, all streaming platforms on the Dude to Wrestle Talk. And with me, as always, is the man,
Mr. Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Like he said, I'm on every podcast or every social media platform, and Two Dudes with Attitudes is on every podcast platform. So go subscribe. Our last video took off, and hopefully this one takes off. We're almost at 700 subscribers now, so we're at 640. So we need about 60 more. We're on the road to 1K. So go subscribe on the YouTube if you haven't done so already, and go like us and review us on Apple and Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, because we're taking over, man. And this is 2024 is going to be the year of the dudes. That's for sure.
Dang, I need to get these shirts made. That's going to be one of them. 2024, the year of the dudes.
I
like it.
Let's do it.
I like it. All right, Two Dudes with Attitudes. Wolfpack, we out. Let's go.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes will bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.